Greetings, everyone. I am F. Keith Slaughter, Senior Servant of the Beloved Community Church of Atlanta. Our ministry began 5 years ago with a few dedicated souls who were dedicated to serving our people and worshiping our God. We are a small church. However, since we began, we have slowly grown from a mere idea into a thriving, busy, and dynamic presence in the Pittsburgh community of Atlanta, Georgia. The coronavirus pandemic indelibly altered the work of our ministry. The food and resources gap between the poor and others has widened right before our eyes. As the world around us changed, we recognized the need to expand our already established food pantry to include a food sharing component for children and adults in our community. We now serve hot meals, sandwiches, snacks, and beverages 3 days a week and provide emergency food pantry access throughout the week. The times required that we expand our capacity to serve, but we had inadequate facilities needed to do the work. To that end, we recently acquired a historic Pittsburgh landmark formerly known as Little Zion Baptist Church. Our plan is to transition our food pantry and resource brokerage center, including a new day shelter component, into the Little Zion Annex of the Beloved Community Church. We need room to grow, and I need your help to make it happen. The food pantry will give community members and their families access to nutritious food in a clean and healthy environment. The Resource Brokerage Center will connect persons to information and benefits available to them, while the day shelter will create space for showers and personal care, cell phone recharging stations, and other help for our unsheltered sisters and brothers. So here's the ask. I'm asking you to be mindful and prayerful around your possible role in helping us to take care of some good people who need to feel the experience of human love, care, and compassion in the midst of their struggle. After considering the possibilities, I ask that you would share your best gift with us to help us renovate the building, put on a new roof, replace the damaged flooring, and rebuild the handicap ramp to make it a bright, healthy, secure space for healing and restoration to occur. I believe that this is good ground. Won't you help us by investing in making Dr. King's vision of the beloved community a blessed reality? You can help us by cash apping us at $the beloved community. You may also go to my website, Dr.FKeithSlaughter.org, and make a PayPal donation. But however you give, make sure you give to this good and worthy cause. Greetings, everyone.
Y'all know what it is.
I can't sit at the seat of the scornful. Run away, run away, run away. Those wolves in sheep clothing.
Come on.
Run away. Take back what you stole from me. Compensate. They keep lying, man, and I can't relate. Run away, run away, run away. Mr. Slaughter D called me Trap Pastor. I talk slow, but you know I rap faster.
That right.
Hard rhymes, I'm as serious as cancer. Recognize you ain't a slave, you a master. Came here on the bottom of the boat.
That right.
Can't flow, so I had to backstroke. Coming up on the verses that I rode. Every day I slang hope, not dough. Black excellence, down with the team. Malcolm X's nightmare, Martin Luther's dream. Fight the power, can you feel what I mean? Like Rakim said, I'm a microphone fiend. Came south on a special invitation. Say a word on the current situation. No delay, no more hesitation. All you fist up, take your preparation, sucker.
I know what it is.
I can't sit and see the scornful. Run away, run away, run away. Those wolves in sheep clothing.
Come on.
Run away. Take back what you stole from me. Compensate. They keep lying, man, and I can't relate. Run away, run away, run away. Yeah, so you think you can run away from reality? You think you can run away from the problems? You think you can find yourself someplace else to go where there's no God? Hey, man, wherever you go, God is already there waiting on you. So stop running. And if you gotta run, tie your shoes. Sucker.
Sucker. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. What up, dog? Oh. Hallelujah. What's the deal? What's really going on? What's really going down? Well, this Mardi Gras week, I forgot all about Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday and all that. Was Fat Tuesday? Wasn't that this week? Wasn't that last Tuesday? Was last Tuesday Fat Tuesday? I don't know, man. Hell, I ain't from New Orleans. I know some people I know that went down there and they was out there having fun, so it probably was earlier this week. Last week, something. Anyway, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Welcome to another episode of Righteous Radio. That's what the mayor of the city of South Fulton called it. Anyway, welcome to the show, man. This is The Situation with your brother, Dr.FKeith Slaughter. It's an intentionally Afrocentric live streaming infotainment variety talk experience, and I am just pleased to be here with you today, February the 24th, the year 2022. There is yet a pandemic that is becoming endemic, and today we may say that we are firmly on the precipice of a third world war. But we still here. So we give the Creator reverence and respect on this day. Man, things is crazy. So y'all know I was kind of like allowing myself to feel on yesterday. I allowed myself to feel the loss of a matriarch of our church. And so part of my grieving process included sharing cocktails and wistfully remembering our dear sister, Lucille Grant. And as we drank and remembered, shucks, I ended up drinking too much. Oh man, and I went to sleep.
early last evening. And then I woke up in the middle of the night, and as I generally do for a second or two, to just see what's going on while I've been sleeping. I checked out CNN and I discovered that Russia has indeed invaded Ukraine. So you say, what does Russia, a country right on the border of Asia and Far Eastern Europe, and Ukraine, an Eastern European country, what does that have to do with black people in America? It's a good question, and I'm glad you asked. What we are about to experience is an even higher or deeper, depending on which way you're looking at it, a higher or deeper level of unsettlement in the world, destabilization as relates to the economy, destabilization as relates to the flow of consumer goods. I mean, we talk about possible interruption of international travel. We're talking about some deep and lasting outcomes that could possibly, before it's all over with, possibly call for American military intervention. And in a very real way, there's already American military intervention ongoing. I mean, there's the movement of several 100,000 troops in response to this invasion. All over Europe, people are on high alert, man, because anything could happen now. And you know, the way this kind of stuff, this geopolitics goes, you know, it just depends if the wrong person gets killed at the wrong time, how things can kind of spiral out of control. Russia is attempting to overtake Kyiv, which is the capital city. They bombing it, they shelling it, and already civilians are dying as well as soldiers. That's warfare. And warfare has a tendency to spread, and others tend to get involved when they believe that their interests are at stake. What Russia really wanted, man, was that port. They want to be able to move product uninterrupted, untaxed, in and out of their space. Ukraine is in the way, and many of the people in that country speak Russian anyway. So Putin is like, man, nah, man, I'm taking this, man. And it's up to y'all to stop it. And so we're gonna see what the people do. But right now, the world is in a very, very unstable state. I ain't gonna lie, man. 2 years ago, I never could have imagined, or 3 years ago, whatever, 3 years ago, I never could have imagined that we would be in the space that we're in now. You know, 2.5 years almost being locked down, quarantined, you know, socially distanced and preoccupied with dis-ease, bombarded with death after death after death after death. All the while the world continuing to spin and people pretending as though they're not really affected or impacted, when it's death and mayhem all around. And now, the possibility for world war. So just a moment ago, I was standing outside and I was talking to my son, and I was like, man, had a bad day yesterday, man. He said, yeah, I think I did too. I think it's something in the air.
you feel it? It probably is. And that's the situation, man. You won't know what the deal is, probably. Equipment. I just out in the car. I need tell that boy to bring my phone in here. I ain't even got nothing to tell you what's going on. It's good news Thursday around here. And man, it's always a stretch for me to do good news Thursday because I'm like, man, well, there's so much other stuff going on. But we need to take time every now and then, at least once a week, and share with you stories that are good news, I guess. I need them. Oh, I'm being told that I need the good news story. Bring that up there to me, Craig. And if you would tell that boy to bring my bag up out of there too, and make sure you don't drop it, boy. It might be a world war in Pittsburgh. All right, so let's see what we're talking about. Don't be telling me. People always be trying to tell me what to do. People be sending me texts trying to tell me what to do. Hey, we're on the way back from the food bank. Please make sure that the parking lot is not blocked. You know what I'm saying? I'm like the little, I don't know. Everybody around here a little punk boy. And see why I'm so sad. Why I'm so sad is the only person around here that really knew how to talk to me, respect me, just handle me. She just died the other day. You know what I'm saying? People don't know how to, that ain't the way to talk to me, man. Anyway, getting too old for this shit. Thank you, sir. I'm getting too old for this shit. I was thinking about this morning, man. I got a call from somebody. And I knew it was one of my members, one of my church members. And look, y'all preachers just human beings and stuff, man. It was somebody calling me, wanting to chastise me because I didn't call everybody and tell them that Mama Lou was dead. Hell, I'm human. I was grieving. You know what I'm saying? Give me a damn break, man. Good news. So, okay, good news. This is Good News Thursday. Reuters is reporting that Haiti's government hiked the minimum wage by as much as 54% in that country as of this past Monday. It was following weeks of demonstration. Yeah, that's a blessing. Because hell, most of them damn companies there, they're either French or American owned, whatever companies are there. Damn break. Don't act like, anyway. So this is following weeks of demonstrations by garment workers who say that their wages are not enough to keep up with the rising cost of living. Sisters and brothers, the rising cost of living is setting us all back right now. I think we're on the edge, man, of something really serious going down. Some real transformative kind of organic kind of transformation that's deep and real and substantive. I think people, man, can only take so much, and after they reach their limit, then people begin to push back. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So they got sliding scale wage hikes that vary by economic activity, with the greatest increase going to workers in areas such as the electricity and telecommunications industry. Employees in the clothing manufacturing sector, which export finished products to where? U.S. retailers, receive just a 37% increase. That takes their wages to just under $7.50 per day, compared with the $15 a day that they had demanded. Yeah. Well, every time I hear about $15 a day, it makes me mad for a whole nother different reason. I'll talk to you about that one day. Okay, give me some more good news. I like that story. Wow. So this is a story about a woman who escaped from slavery by hiding in plain sight, disguised as a white man. Yeah, because white men do be looking soft. Some of them, they be looking soft like they're a girl. And they don't even be, transgender or nothing. They just be, soft-ass white dudes. Anyway, what else? Some more good news. That story, it's a big, long-ass story. I can't do nothing with that, man. Y'all be sending me stuff I can't do nothing with. It's too long, and you got to get to the point. What the hell happened? Let me see what you sent me, man in the box. Let me see here. Bam. Good news. Howard University is about to digitize thousands of black newspapers. And archive thousands of black newspapers. And that is very important because and I know paper lasts but so long, and at one point or another it's going to disintegrate. So it's good that Howard is digitizing. Yeah, that's a good thing. Because, man, okay, point of transparency. When I was a student at Tuskegee University, well, actually before I was a student, because when I got there, my first job, I worked as a janitor at Dorothy Hall. And I did that for almost a year. No, that was about 3, 4, 5 months. And then the way I got the job was that the dude who was the main janitor there, he was in a car wreck. And so they needed somebody quick, and I just popped up. And they was like, hey, man, we got a great job for you. You can be a janitor at Dorothy Hall. I was like, cool. I went in there, and it was an interesting job. I spent most of my time, man, just running around through there scared when I had to go upstairs because Booker T and them be walking around up in there and stuff. It was crazy. Really, I could tell you lots of stories about that, but that's a whole nother thing. I used to be scared because, you want to go to a little room and lay down and get some rest, hide out. And then I hear something say, correct. I get up and get on back and go to work somewhere. But at any rate, the dude got well, man, after the car wreck. So I lost the job. He came back. And then the next job that I got while I was in Tuskegee was as the assistant supervisor of media and serials. What that mean was I was in charge of the magazines and the newspapers. And that's how I learned a whole lot, hiding out in the stacks, reading the old newspapers, being responsible, because it used to be black newspapers from almost every black major city, or every major city with a large population of black people. You had Pittsburgh, Courier, you had Baltimore All-American, there was a paper, the Chicago Defender. There was a papers coming out of North Carolina, out of Raleigh and Charlotte, and black people had newspapers, and so, and that's the way that we shared information with each other, and that's the way we kept a historical record of what we were experiencing and what we felt about it and what we thought about it. This show is basically just a damn daily newspaper, actually. and it's being archived digitally. So I'm glad that they are archiving this stuff digitally. The only thing is, and I keep on saying, you know, digital archive, I don't know what good that's gonna do you when the grid go down. You know what I'm saying? When ain't no electricity, when the Russians decide, okay, we've been waiting to hit this button on the US, they think they're gonna put these sanctions on us, boom, hit the button, let's cut the grid out, let's shut the grid down. You know they can do it. So that's why that's why I'd be scared of everything being digitized. So hopefully they find a way to preserve the papers as well as to digitize them. Hopefully the digitization is just to make sure that more people can access that precious historical data. Okay.
Yeah.
What you call it? The man in the box sent me a story. It's supposed to be about a 12-year-old digital artist, and I swear she looked like she's 37. I said, this is a grown woman here. She like what's old buddy on Power? he thought he was 19, but he was 23. Oh, Jesus, that's so funny to me. Oh, man, y'all know what I'm talking about. What's the name? What's the dude's name on Power? Y'all don't watch Power? I can't believe y'all, man. Anyway, I don't know, this young lady created the long necktie collection, which features diverse women with elongated necks, inspired by her favorite dinosaur, the Brontosaurus. So she made these neckties, I guess, with ladies with long necks. And I guess that's good news. That's good news because she says she's 12, but she look like she around. I see gray hair and everything. I see some gray, I do. I'm looking at her picture right now. She look like she at least 32, 33. Anyway, look here. That's enough good news for today. I can't even stand it no more. That's just too much. It's got me too giddy and too happy. I need to talk to my guests now, man. And so what I want to do is take a quick break, man. And when we come back, I got special guests in the studio, man. We're going to get it in and get it on. I think we packed out today. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm going to get folks in, get these conversations moving. We're going to have a good news Thursday. It's the last day of the week for us on this show. We don't work on Fridays because, you know, hell, white folks don't work on Friday. Why should we? You know what I'm saying? So, oh man, I saw this in the middle of the night last night. I saw this documentary about Frederick Douglass. And of course, I mean, dude was the baddest Negro on the damn planet, y'all. This Negro went to the white folks' 4th of July party and told them, fuck your 4th of July. I'm like, in 1850 something, I'm like, this Negro here had a sack with steel balls in it, straight up. That's right. And I usually don't think about it and don't pay attention to it, but you know, I asked my mama why she named me Frederick, and she said she named me Frederick for Frederick Douglass. So there you go. Maybe that's why I be talking all that shit I be talking. I'll be black in a minute with more shit talking, probably, and a special guest. Y'all forgive me, I'm grieving, and I don't know. I ain't been drinking this morning yet, but I'm gonna get some. You can believe it before the day out. Hold this thing together, man. Beneath me, that's the sounds of Ryan Kilgore, a friend of Situation. Got to call him if he ain't on tour, get him to come through and kick it with us. Thank y'all for kicking it with us, and you can do so each and every day, Monday through Thursday from 11 to 1. And what I do is ask that you would follow us. Follow us at trappastor.com. That's TRAPPASTOR. Trappastor.com. Go to the bottom of the page. Once you get there, you'll see a choice of 4 platforms, either Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, or YouTube. Choose one and get us live, or get the archive versions of the show on YouTube. Make sure you like us. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, The Situation with Dr.FKeith Slaughter. And, you know what I'm saying? Blow us up. Show us some love. And, yeah, send me some money, too. $, the beloved community. I appreciate it. All right? We'll be back in a minute. We're open.
We're open.
Yes, we're open.
We are open, and Sandtown Pub is ready to serve you. We're taking precautions, wearing masks, wearing gloves, sanitizing, and practicing social distancing. We've even partnered with local leaders to hand out free masks. So stop by and enjoy our outdoor patio, dine in, call ahead for pickup, get Uber Eats and DoorDash delivery, or order online at www.sandtownpub.com.
Peace, family. It's your girl, Shelly Set with Sun Goddess Sense, your one-stop natural shop. We are located at 4140 Jonesboro Road, booth 225, inside the Forest Park International Discount Mall in Forest Park, Georgia. Come check us out. You can get your health and beauty items, aromatherapy, skincare, Pan-African apparel, and more. You can reach us at 404-434-7963 or sungoddess_sense on IG, or sungoddess.sense on IG, or Sun Goddess Sense like page on Facebook. Peace.
Hi, I'm Broderick Gooch.
And I'm Tian Gooch.
And we're Gooch's Goodies.
Here at Gooch's Goodies, we specialize in delivering smiles and satisfaction to your home with our high quality foods at affordable prices.
Our signature sauces and dishes will guarantee a flavor that your family will love, and that's a Gooch's Goodies guarantee. You can follow us on Facebook,
DoorDash,
and Grubhub. See you soon.
Booking.com. Find it.
He better pick up this phone. I'm not coming in second to this music.
Hello?
Ryan, you need to make a decision. I'm tired of calling you. I'm not... Hello? Did he just hang up on me?
Hello?
Hey, baby.
Yeah, man. Like, I made my choice, man. Since you want me to choose, I choose music. Lose my number.
Yeah, me and you both, we back and we black, man. My name's Slaughter. This situation, I got a special guest in the studio with me today. Yeah, much love. That's what you call it. That's Ryan Kilgore. My first guest today on this Good News Thursday is a brother who hails from the great city of Huntsville in the great state of Alabama. He is a graduate of Tuskegee University as well as the Tuskegee University School of Veterinary Medicine. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, please put your hands together for our dear brother, Dr. Darryl Brown. What's up, Dr. Brown?
Good morning. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Dr. Brown,
Yes.
and you get all the way down, and you don't mess around.
Not
you
too
know what I'm
much.
saying?
I can't can't claim none, but you gotta keep it under control.
I feel you, brother.
It flows, but I got a way to turn it off and on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to the situation, man. Your first visit to kick it with us. It's a blessing, man, to have you today. We was kicking it up and chopping off the air, man. Hell, that was I always say it always happens like that. The best interview happens off air. You know what I mean? Because it's you don't feel the other eyes watching. You know what I mean? But hell, it's just us and I don't know, maybe a couple of hundred folks. That's no big thing, we just around here kicking it. And we are saving this for perpetuity and it will be archived. So just act like ain't nobody gonna see it,
Ever, but forever.
Yeah. So as I in my introduction, I shared that you are a product of the state of Alabama, the city of Huntsville, but more specifically, product Tuskegee University. And we was talking about, man, just the significance of that experience. What was the Tuskegee experience like for you?
It was wonderful. I grew up in Tuskegee. I left home a teenager, being told I was a young man, but I was a really big boy that was fairly well prepared. But I grew up in Tuskegee. I experienced a lot of maturation in Tuskegee. I learned a lot of things from life as well as academically. As you and I were saying a few moments ago, Tuskegee for me was like a utopia. I'm making up a word. It was utopic for me.
Yeah.
Utopian.
Yeah, it was very nurturing. It was challenging. It was rewarding. You learned how to make friends. You learned how to study. You learned how to investigate. You learned how to protect yourself, mentally, emotionally.
Yeah.
It was just a ripe place.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I know you got a chance to see both sides because Tuskegee University is one thing and it's one experience. But the vet school was a whole nother experience. I remember, those of us looking at people who are in the vet school as, the elite scholars, the persons who showed us, who we got to see model an ethic of study because y'all was always getting it and always had to be getting it. You know what I mean? And so it was always encouraging to see black people doing that work. And I particularly enjoy because, I hung around. I told you, I was in Tuskegee from 86 to 91, but I had 60 hours when I got to Tuskegee. I was a damn junior. I was a junior when and I was still there for 6 years.
We all ripe in different stages. It's cool. It's all right.
No, because I really didn't want to go anywhere. I really didn't want to leave because it just felt too good. It felt like for that time in my life, that's where I needed to be, in spirit, it guided me to that space, man. And so, but we were talking about off air as well, how we looked at the vet school, and then I did a little quick Google search, and I was like looking how Tuskegee University School of Veterinary Medicine was ranked among the rest of the veterinary schools in the country, and I didn't even see it. And I thought, what is the criteria that they are using for determining what's what and who's who? You know what I mean? What was for you? What was the experience in the vet school specifically like? And I know it had to be rigorous at the very least.
It absolutely was. Earlier when I was describing Tuskegee and I mentioned nurturing, that was the vet school. Not that I did not receive that in undergrad because I did. Tuskegee was not the university where you were just a number on either side, whether you're an undergraduate or in the professional medical programs. But the professional medical programs, it was a smaller group of individuals and we stayed together for 4 years. That same group matriculated
As
one
a
year to the
cohort.
next. Absolutely. And the professors recognized you. They recognized your presence and your lack thereof, your involvement and your lack thereof. My sister went to Georgia Tech. And while I was making my way through Tuskegee, she was making her way through Georgia Tech. And I always commented, I was in a veterinary medical professional program, and they always demonstrated that they wanted me there. And my perspective of what Georgia Tech was always seeking to do was trying to make you prove that you still belong there.
Yeah, they should be trying to figure out how to get rid of you.
Exactly.
Your job is to try to stay in a space when people don't want you.
And I never felt that experience at Tuskegee.
Yeah.
It was challenging, of course. You know, it was rigorous.
Yeah. Hell, they put me out and let me back in.
It's interesting you say that, because I got, I had a classmate or two who may have had a challenge academically. They didn't make it the next year with us, but they didn't get put out the program. They had to repeat that part of the process.
Right.
So they just made sure they got the work. They made sure they got the knowledge, the information, and then they were able to, with the next class, continue to move forward.
Yeah.
So it was a place where you felt as though you belong.
Yeah, I got a good friend, man. I don't know if he ain't working, if he ain't doing what he does right now. This brother went to Meharry, right? And I ain't gonna say his name or nothing, but he's like the only person in the history of that institution that took every class twice. Every class.
Really?
He had to take it 2 times, but he made it through.
Wow.
And now he's practicing, you know what I'm saying? And he's been blessing people 20 years, and he got a different kind of spirit as relates to how he engages people, because he got the care that he needed to make it through.
I can imagine he's very compassionate.
Very, very compassionate brother,
so.
No doubt. You are a vet. You're a vet.
Right.
And America has a very special relationship with its pets.
Like no other place in the world.
I would imagine that that keeps you quite busy in your work.
It does. It absolutely. However, I'm a veterinarian, and my aim, my focus, and my direction is towards the animal and the pet. I don't get to meet the animal or pet without the person.
Exactly.
But I attempt to not focus my energy towards their
mommy or daddy.
Their personal feelings towards the situation, because that doesn't change my task. I'm forced to be objective as much as I'm able. And I always have to keep in mind that I'm only licensed to deal with dogs and cats. So and horses, cows, and pigs, and mammals and reptiles, not little children. So when you say, I understand what you're saying when you mention that America has a different place in their space and heart for pets, and I agree. It's just that I have to be careful about allowing myself to be moved by the subjective desires. People want what they want, and have, because you cannot manage a 4-legged, hairy, furry mammal that doesn't speak, that functions on instincts in the same way you would a humanoid or someone
some of these dogs be talking out here now, Dr. Brown. I've seen them on the TikTok. Dog be talking, singing.
I can't understand it.
you ain't Dr. Doolittle, huh? You Dr. Brown.
I can deal with body language, but I can't understand.
So, what kind of animal do you specialize in? Do you do everything from do you work with horses and cows and do that kind of vet work?
The only farm non-domestic animals I deal with are goats.
Okay.
When I say the only, that's primarily because I still deal with call them mini pigs, or I call them mini pigs, but right now I'm having a lapse. But it's a porcine, it's a pig, they're pets. And they used to get 150, 200 pounds, but they are individuals keep them in their homes, in their backyards, and so they are very pet-like. They're not considered to be farm animals, and individuals are extremely fond of them. They are reported to be very intelligent, very responsive, and from there, dogs, cats, a few reptiles, but it's primarily a mobile veterinary service, house call service that deals with dogs and cats. I haven't touched a horse medically in 2 decades.
Okay.
I haven't touched a cow medically since I left vet school. And really, there are some veterinarians who are still mixed animal practitioners, and that they deal with farm non-domestic animals and dogs and cats, but they're very few and far in between. And that's definitely not the lane that I stayed in.
So you own your own veterinary service.
I am.
And you say you mobile, and so much love, much respect for
Appreciate it.
creating a black-owned business and of course your black-owned business supports your black family and
Absolutely.
and contributes to the black community. And
That's what motivated me to make the shift.
okay. So did you do veterinary work in a different
Absolutely.
setting before you started your own? What were you doing before that?
Initially, I started out as a general practitioner. It is basically a family vet, which I was in a stationary practice, and I moved from that stationary practice in Knoxville, Tennessee for a year. Came to the Atlanta area. I was living in Union City and working in Riverdale at an emergency clinic in Riverdale. So
Okay.
I did emergency critical care work for a year there on contract, and from there, for the next few years, I traveled around and basically I did subcontract work, so which I worked at different clinics and I did emergency critical care, and I did that for a number of years. And I transitioned back to a family practice setting for about 9 to 10 years, which I was responsible for helping to.
It's funny. It's a family practice because the dog is the part of the family. I get it. I get it.
And when I say family practice, general practice, it's not a farm animal, not
Right.
But essentially, where an individual will bring their pet
In their home.
just a regular. How about this? Around the block vet clinic. It's the type of spot I was at.
So let me ask you about this because what's in my mind is pit bulls and bad dogs. Do you ever be scared of any of the animals that you have to treat?
Tell you what, I'm gonna comment on the first statement and then the question.
Okay.
Pit bulls, I don't think they're bad dogs. I think you can find a vicious dog of any breed. You can find a dog that has been poorly socialized of any breed, and from there, I think pits really are probably one of my favorite breeds. I really think they're probably some of the most loyal and the most affectionate when you're not dealing with one who has been more traumatized early. To answer your question, absolutely. I see disposition behaviors that would incite some discomfort. And I'll go say some fear. You have to manage it. It's not uncontrolled, unrestricted fear where you become paralyzed and you make bad decisions. You run out the door and say, hey, we can't do it. But it does cause you to approach the situation differently. There are different steps you can take to decrease the chance of you being injured, decrease the chance of the pet being injured, and making sure that the owner doesn't get injured. So, but yeah, they make you nervous. You should be. I mean, that's a fear or concern. That anxiety is there to protect us. You're not supposed to ignore it. You're supposed to recognize it and then make whatever adjustments so that you can move forward and get things done. So it's
Okay, so in the same vein, I got a question in the same vein. So what's the wildest situation you ever found yourself in? Because look, I remember, man, I wasn't no vet. I was a damn social worker up in Chicago. And one time I went in the house, and I would go help to manage mentally ill persons in the community. They would be transitioned out of the state mental health facility, and it was my job to help them in that transition and get them into a space. And if they had a home that I could get them to, if they didn't have a home, I had to get them an apartment or whatever, find them a place to stay for a room, whatever. At any rate, so I went to this house, man, one day, man, and I walked in the house and I had the person with me who was a mental health patient, and I walked in the house, and everybody in there, man, was expressing behaviors that were that made me believe that they had mental health or developmental issues as well. And so I'm up in and I'm checking out the scene, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, come the cat, and the cat. The cat started running up on the fireplace on the mantel all over, and I walked out. I was like, "Damn, everybody in here crazy." So when I hear you say a dog is traumatized, which is a psychological term, right?
Absolutely.
An animal is traumatized.
Psychological, emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You think animals actually have emotions?
Absolutely. And if you interact with them over any period of time, and if you interact with more than one, you'll see the differences. You know, there are some that are just like yourself and myself. Some of them straight. I mean, some of them real easygoing. They come up to you. There's no sign of apprehension, tail wagging, trying to get your attention. There are some that you approach. They like some cats we know. They look at you sideways. They, you know, if you move, they start getting bucked. Start sticking their chest out.
That's crazy, man.
You come deal with some of them, and they start hiding, tucking their tail, and start cowering and looking uncomfortable. And so, absolutely. And then when they go around other individuals they're comfortable with, the behavior changes. So, absolutely. But dogs, for certain, are extremely social. They're pack animals. And if you look in their own setting, you'll see a different dispositions, different behaviors, different emotions. So there's no question about it. They do not have the ability to communicate them verbally and express what's going on.
In a language that humans understand,
And then oftentimes we see individuals who have issues, and we can recognize they have issues, but they could never articulate what they got going on. Humans. So much of veterinary medicine and dealing with non-human animals and humans is body language. Really, the body, we all have signals and movements that we demonstrate that if someone's aware and have some knowledge of it, it gives them a clue to what's going on. When you're in the street, we do the same thing.
No doubt.
We see how people move. If you're moving as though you are, let's say you up to something, you're not comfortable. If you fixated, on something, that's a clue. If you fixated on me, that's a clue. If you got yourself covered up and you're trying to get some type of half of a disguise or trying to make sure you don't display, all of those are detectable. But if you see somebody who's just easygoing,
So animals got to, and I still need you to hit what's the craziest, wildest.
Man, that's such a challenge. I've been in a few of them. I'm gonna say one for me, because I
don't mean no harm, but you ever had and did you ever been in a spot when you just know that this dog is this woman's boyfriend?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And when
this nigga said absolutely.
Well, listen, and I mean that
I just threw that up
in a psychological and emotional way. I never assumed that on the physical side, but the attachment and the relationship, connection, the loyalty.
Do you see that as healthy or no? And I'm not asking you to be a psychologist.
I'm going to say it's not healthy for the pet.
It's not healthy for the pet.
I'm going to say it's not healthy for the pet because I'm not a psychologist.
Right. Okay. And I hear the whole statement.
Once again, I'm not trained to deal with human mammals.
Right.
But for pets, no, because they have what we call separation anxieties. They have anxieties, fears, and phobias that are associated with being separated from the individual they're attached to, and that's never healthy for anyone. And they have fears and phobias, anxieties when new individuals are introduced into their space. And there's not fear and anxiety when it is unrestricted and consistent is not a sign of wellness.
I can't argue. I think you.
Wow.
So that's cool. So as it relates to healing hands and people who might have pets who might need the healing hands of Dr. Brown, how can they get at you?
Healing Hands Mobile, healinghandsvet.com, and the phone number is 404-867-4081.
All right. Say it one more time, just one more time.
404-867-4081, healinghandsvet.com.
Man, that's it right there, man. Healing Hands Mobile Veterinary Services. And none other than our dear friend and brother, Dr. Darryl Brown. Show him some love. Yeah! There you go. When we come back, that's a Tuskegee grad back there pushing buttons, okay? Just so you know. Just so you know it ain't no conspiracy. Anyway. When we come back, man, I got another special guest on deck. Y'all stay tuned, man. Y'all already know how I get down. So I see y'all on the other side of the break. It's going to be a quick one. Stay tuned.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
If it makes sense, we have to go and do it, you know.
Hear what I man say. Right now, now. But each and every day I say, oh people now. Hear I say, freedom. Rasta people them freedom.
He did that. Stardust and clay in my brain. To your ways, won't go away. So cute. Fuck around me with them not shakers. Hurt in my teens, trying to say every freaky baby. Dante's empty, my sparkle with a light up the dark. I'm busting open this box, it's in the child unlocked. We're getting deep into it, sink into it. Gotta roll with the balls, build up through it. It's the eyes and the shine. It's a count of the one. Time to rub my brain. Yeah. His new season, don't want to read this now. Seeds were just planted, just need the rain, but I won't keep you mine. I'll go sing that lap, looking right back. Bit in my bag, in my bag. I need a real bag. All in that, yeah, you all in that, yeah. Wow. I got what he need, his new season. Don't wanna be this wrong. Seeds were just planted, just need the rain, but I won't keep you long. I'll go sing that lap, looking right back. She all in her bag, need a real bag. I need a real bag. All in that, yeah, I'm all in that, yeah.
Hey man, we be trying to make it do what it do. Brother Chief of Staff. That is your was stinking in here yesterday, it ain't stinking in here today. I don't know what's going on, man. Anyway, welcome back to the show, man. My name is Slaughter. The name of this show is The Situation. And we are back with a special guest in the studio on today. And so I would like you to join me in welcoming the Chief of Staff for the Councilman of the 12th District of the City of Atlanta City Council. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters, brothers, put your hands together for Brother Micah McClure.
It's a pleasure to be here, brother. Pleasure to be here, man.
Thank you. What's going on around here, man?
I don't need too
The
much
machine
class,
don't work, Momo? Or you the machine and you done shut down? The battery. Y'all had to tell me things, man, so I can fix them, man.
I ain't tripping at all, man. I don't need too many class, man. We doing work, man.
Okay, we doing work, so we don't need no applause, man. But
It's
you know,
all
this,
good.
I need them.
I hear you.
I need them so I can know how to, because I be flowing when I flow, and I be needing certain things. And I be needing people to just to let me know, so I don't be up here looking more ignorant than I already am. You know what I mean? Excuse it. Michael McClure, Chief of Staff for Antonio Lewis. Welcome to the show, man. I'm glad that you were able to make it through. You've been through a couple of times, but I never had you on the show. Did I?
No, sir, this first
right.
time.
So yeah, you always accompany your the councilman, and now I got you on straight up, all the way live.
Yeah,
How you been making it, brother?
Brother, I've been blessed, man. I've been blessed and highly favored, brother. It's been 100 miles an hour every day, man, but we going 105, so I ain't too worried.
I know that's right. You still stay ahead of the game.
100%.
No doubt about it. So when you say going 100 miles an hour, y'all been working as relates to the campaign, and then from the campaign straight hitting the ground, trying to make it. How long in months have you been on this journey with our councilman?
Brother, probably since March of last year.
Okay.
I was also working full time as an organizer for AFSCME. It's the American Federation for State, County, and Municipal Employees. It's a labor union for public sector workers. So I was working full time with them, splitting my time with the campaign, trying to help strategize politically as well. As a matter of fact, the night he got elected, I've had a flight 6 a.m. the next morning to D.C. for a campaign with Virginia state workers. So when I tell you we ain't stopped at all, man.
Yeah.
But it's a blessing though.
Yeah, but y'all gonna have to make sure, man, y'all be intentional about taking a break at one point or another and getting some breath in and getting some.
Our wives make sure of that, man. They won't let us work too hard. You know, they try to pull us back when they can.
Yeah, and both of y'all got beautiful wives, man, and wonderful families, and it's a blessing, man. Y'all are a blessing to the city of Atlanta.
It's a blessing.
You know what I mean? Where you from, Michael?
Man, I'm born and raised in Chattanooga, Tennessee, sir.
Chat time.
Yeah, and I still wear my Chattanooga hat every time I get a chance.
I ain't mad at you.
I don't let them forget.
There's some dope black people in chat, man.
Oh, yeah.
What you call it? I think did President Rose, you got a chat connection. You ain't got no chat connection. But a lot of great black people in the city, a wonderful, beautiful, rich black community in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
And definitely a history of a legacy of fighting against oppression there.
Yeah,
It's something I'm appreciative of. That's why I say that name loudly, because it means a lot to me.
Yeah. I met somebody, man, who was from Chat, who people was from Chat, and they had like a deep and powerful civil rights connection. And, because white folks, act a fool up in them damn mountains, man.
Well, I'm telling you, man.
You know what I'm saying? And you had to really be on game. But like black people got like real neighborhoods still in Chat. Is the gentrification there? Is it taking root there?
Oh, it's powerful there. So I think that one of the things that always has stood out to me about Atlanta is black ownership. Right. You look at it in communities like Pittsburgh. You look at communities across the South Side and across this whole city. They've historically been owned by black families.
Yeah.
And the folks are only now, I think, getting to a point where they're selling grandma's house, and that's another issue in the conversation, right? But in Chattanooga, many of us hadn't owned anything. Many of us hadn't owned the properties. There's so many rent houses there, to the point that they actually had to create legislation in the city that when you rezone the new property, it can't be zoned for a duplex or any other purposes because there's so many. in the city. And so I think there's definitely presence there for us, but the ownership is where we're lacking. And that gentrification, one of the things they take advantage of is lack of ownership. That's where they flourish at. So I think gentrifiers have been well aware of Chattanooga for a very long time, even more so now because we got the fiber optics and everything else going on there.
Right. So now, man, let's get into here and now and right here in Atlanta, District 12. What are the parameters of District 12, the physical parameters?
Definitely. So we represent Cleveland Avenue metropolitan areas. So you think about Lakewood, Polar Rock, this community here as well, Pittsburgh. So across the south side, we represent. So south of I-20.
So how has it been going thus far? What you're 2 months in? How's it been going?
I think it's been going amazing. And I say that not just because of how we feel, but because of what the people have been sharing with us. One of the first votes that we had was a no vote for us. It was a vote to start the Buckhead Task Force there to only focus on Buckhead's crime with that task force. And for us, that was an obvious no. And we were the only folks on the council to do that. So I think we started out in a powerful way for the people of this community because we want to recognize that crime is a problem everywhere across the city. If we're going to divide any resources, we need to be focused on resources across the entire city. When we think about how we can solve that in more creative ways. So I think it's been going solid, man. Like we've had a lot of community support, a lot of community leaders show a lot of love, man. So amazing.
Man, what do you see as the major issue that's on the table for Councilman Lewis? And what's the major agenda item that he's attempting to push and get behind as relates to the 12th district? Man,
one of the best things about Antonio, man, and also I think sometimes one of the most misunderstood things is he ain't gonna switch it up. No matter what room he's in or what position he's in, he's willing to be strategic in the way he thinks, but like his values are his values. So we value social mobility before we got in office. That's our main priority now. Also, when it comes to social mobility, we think about the impacts of not having a community that is able to be socially mobile, as far as being able to be born in poverty but have the opportunity to escape poverty. You see crime with that. You see education with that. There's so many things that are encompassed in that area. And so his priorities are definitely social mobility, making sure we can address crime issues in creative ways that don't alienate our communities, but enrich our communities for the long term.
Okay. So as we kind of look at where we are on the ground here today, I was up in the middle of the night watching the invasion take place in Russia, in the Ukraine. Can you help us or my audience to understand how an invasion of Ukraine by Russia will actually impact black people here in America, and in particular in the city of Atlanta?
100%. So we have to always recognize that we are not segmented and separated from what's going on across this world, right? That the impacts of what impacts city government, state government, is influenced also by what's happening internationally. And so what's happening with the invasion of Ukraine, we have to recognize that it's oftentimes like it's going to affect natural resources. It's going to affect gas industries. Right now, California has the highest gas prices they've had in history, right? And so we think about how that's affecting us at the pump, but also how right now we're having supply chain issues across the board that have been impacted by gas prices, have been impacted by supply chain issues and building and maintenance of factories, but have been impacted by staffing because of the pandemic. I believe it's going to exacerbate those things. I think it's that much more important to focus on the idea of us recognizing the needs of communities so that we don't falter and fall victim, as we often at times do. Because wise people have always said that when the world is hurting, black people are hurting more. Right? We're oftentimes more impacted by things like this that are going on. So if the natural gas prices rise, it rises for us. And we are already in a space where we're not able to afford it in some of our poor communities. If there are less dollars invested are available for investment in our infrastructure, available for investment in our education. We're impacted that much more. And so I think that a war in the Ukraine will immediately snatch away resources from our communities, but also, if anything, I think that it puts our nation in jeopardy in a lot of other ways.
Okay. Well, look, you're going to be visiting with us monthly.
Yes, sir.
And that's going to be part of what we do going forward so we can stay abreast of what's happening in the district. And we depending on you, brother, to keep us up to date and up to snuff. And because we need to know how we are being asked to mobilize and in what direction and what function is our councilman requesting us to move. Because as I said last week in a gathering that we had, we chose him. We chose him because we wanted him to do some things, right? But we want him to show us what it is that he has on his mind for us, and so we can get behind and push it and make it happen. I'm heartened, from my perspective. I'm glad to see him cast a no vote and let it be known that I'm going to be a person of conscience, and hopefully he'll be able to impact others and have them to listen to their conscience as well, so that we can get some positive change in the city, man. We're looking forward to some great things with Councilman Lewis, the other councilmen, and particularly our new mayor. So let us know what we can do before we see you next month to make everything go smooth over on this end.
100%.
That's our job. Go ahead.
And I did want to add one thing as well. So just this week, and you can Google this, there are a ton of articles that have been written about it. And our office actually passed a bill or a resolution for still blue lights. Still blue lights are policies that allow police or make police have keep their blue lights on in their communities. Firstly, to not spend any more money on stopping crimes. When you see blue lights, oftentimes that makes their presence known, but also it prevents us from being in a position where we have to have negative interactions with police because they popped up on us without us knowing. All right, so I think the idea of us having positive interactions with police, it doesn't look like us spending more money on services, spending more money on things outside of the social services that we need, defunding organizations like PAD that actually provide police alternatives. We can just be creative in the policies that we present when it comes down policing. I don't think that whether it be within Ukraine, whether it be any part of this country, we should never stop prioritizing people in this community and what we can do to make sure that this is a safer environment. And safety doesn't mean locking up more black people.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And as long as and I know Antonio is clear about that, and I know that you are as well. So I'm going to trust y'all with that as we go forward, man. All right, I look forward to seeing you next month, brother.
100%, brother. I look forward to seeing you as well, man.
No doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters, brothers, are you able to put your hands together for Michael McClure? All right. Okay. All right, there we go. There your hand. You deserve that, brother. You deserve that. Man, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and when we come back, I got president of the Atlanta NAACP, none other than our dear brother, Big Uncle Richard Rose. All right.
We're open. Yes, we're open.
We are open, and Sandtown Pub is ready to serve you. We're taking precautions, wearing masks, wearing gloves, sanitizing, and practicing social distancing. We've even partnered with local leaders to hand out free masks. So stop by and enjoy our outdoor patio, dine in, call ahead for pickup, get Uber Eats and DoorDash delivery, or order online at www.sandtownpub.com.
Peace, family. It's your girl, Shelly Set with Sun Goddess Sense, your one-stop natural shop. We are located at 4140 Jonesboro Road, booth 225, inside the Forest Park International Discount Mall in Forest Park, Georgia. Come check us out. You can get your health and beauty items, aromatherapy, skincare, Pan-African apparel, and more. You can reach us at 404-434-7963 or sungoddess_sense on IG or sungoddess.sense on IG or Sun Goddess Sense like page on Facebook. Peace.
Hi, I'm Broderick Gooch.
And I'm Tian Gooch.
And we're Gooch's Goodies.
Here at Gooch's Goodies, we specialize in delivering smiles and satisfaction to your home with our high-quality food at affordable prices.
Our signature sauces and dishes will guarantee a flavor that your family will love, and that's a Gooch's Goodies guarantee. You can follow us on Facebook,
DoorDash,
and Grubhub. See you soon.
Everything has a time and a place. Take it straight to the face, ain't no need to chase. Never doubt myself, never second guess, never sweat. Even when the stress is at my neck, I progress nevertheless. I've been through the fire, but I'm stormborn. Bullshit is the last shit that I got time for. Therefore, what checks the only thing that I'm checking for. Play around with this bull and you gon' catch a longhorn. I got niggas trying to rob me, 12 trying to jail me, schools trying to fail me, and jobs trying to slave me. Told my youngest, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Look into their eyes and I can see hope is diminished. I faced adversity, I faced atrocity, so best believe And we are here. Now meet me there. Different level, different frequencies. We do it frequently. Quite interesting. I get the guap, I get to talk, and at the end of the day, we still sad, Eyes wide as my life just flashing me by. Getting out of pastime, getting out of get by. Don't know why I always get this high. Getting out of get by, getting out of live life. Eyes wide as my life just flashing me by. Getting out of pastime, getting out of get by. Don't know why I always get this high. Getting out of get by, getting out of live life. Yeah.
I better be glad he called me because I was getting ready to call my wife taking my damn power cord. We gonna have, I have trouble with her, man. I don't know, man. We might have to have a re-election on that one. I ain't lying. I take my power cords, I can't get my hand claps going. What? Why you do this? Why you do me this? Welcome back to the show, man. My name is Slaughter. You know that, or you wouldn't even be turned in. I'm the only reason you checking me out. Or perhaps all of the dope guests that we have. Perhaps that's why you tune in. But whatever reason, thank you for tuning on to the dopest show you never heard of. It's a Situation with your brother. Every Monday through Thursday, around 11 to around 1-ish. You know, we get it in African style. Next guest is a friend of the situation. He is, and you know, for the last few years, I have referred to him as my president, and he is my president. I ain't got no president in D.C. I don't even need one. My president right here, the president of the Atlanta chapter of the NAACP. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, please put your hands together for our dear brother, Richard Rose. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. How you doing? Your mic ain't on. I can't hear you. Yeah, it ain't on. Hello? Try it again. See if.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I think you on now.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. All right, then. Well, it's been a month or so, and I didn't actually know who my guest would be for today until this morning. And I was thinking this morning when I was preparing to come this way, I was like, damn, man, I ain't seen bro president, this month. And here you go. So glad to see you.
I'm here.
How you feeling?
I'm doing great, man.
All right.
Another opportunity to get out and be of service to the community.
Yes, sir. It's always good to see you, and you always look younger every time I see you. I don't know what you be doing, man. What you be doing, man? You ain't on that adrenochrome, are you? You ain't on that. You know that stuff Dick Cheney and them be on and make them live to be 103.
Really? They didn't include me in on.
They didn't let you get none of that.
I'm grateful. I had two long living parents.
Yeah. That's a good thing. I was looking at a life expectancy. I did a story on it yesterday, and it was talking about the state with the lowest life expectancy is Mississippi, but that's they live to be 74 years old. I was like, okay, but the highest is around in the low 80s in the U.S. And I was like, I didn't even think I had that much going. I thought I was at the end of my rope. As I approach 60, I might be able to make it a little bit further down the line.
You got some time.
I'm gonna try, man. I'm gonna try to hold on, bruh. All right, let's go international first, and then we'll bring it from the international and try to get to the local.
Right.
All right. I was thinking this morning. I remember I have seen When I was born, the Vietnam War was in full effect, and I guess getting ready to come to a close. No, it was at its height when I was born, but as I grew, it came to a close when I was probably around, I don't know, 11, 12 years old. And I remember I remember being a young child when we moved from Memphis to Arkansas. It was an Air Force base. And I remember it was a Strategic Air Command Air Force base, a SAC base. And they would actually be flying missions off that base with a KC-135 refueling plane, and they'll fly to Vietnam, drop the bombs, and turn around and come back to Arkansas, man. Right? That was what war looked like. And I remember as a boy wearing these, you would get these little bracelets with the names of the missing in action, killed in action and missing in action, and folks that couldn't be found, and you wore a little bracelet until they either found their body or they came back alive or whatever. I'm wondering, okay, that was my experience of that war. I remember the Desert Storm, and I remember feeling very anxious and upset because, you know, some of my friends and fraternity brothers were being called out of school and being activated into the National Guard and all that stuff, getting ready to go to war and go to Iran and Iraq or whatever, to Iraq. So now this is another experience of war for me. And of course, I don't want to skip over the Grenada, but you know, we didn't really feel that. And you know, the other skirmishes, because I mean, of course, let's just be clear. There are hundreds of hot wars going on around the world at any time. Okay.
Yeah, my brother, younger brother, was drafted probably right around 1971 over his objectives. You know, he was one of those numbers where they said, you know, if you want to serve your country, raise your right hand and step 1 foot forward. He put his hands in his pocket and stepped back. But they sent him to Korea.
Like, anyhow, you can do it. You ain't got to step forward if you don't want to. You still going.
They never issued him a weapon.
Wow. He was a conscientious objector.
Yeah. He was very much objective. You know, when they sent the FBI to the house to question him, they said, you know, don't you want to serve your country and fight the enemy? He said, yeah, I do want to fight the enemy. He said, give me a gun, I'll shoot you right now.
Right.
So they never issued him a weapon, but he said he said they were marching from north toward the DMZ, demilitarized zone. Middle of the night, he heard big bombs, missiles firing. And he said, you know, guy next to him said, you know, is that thunder? He said, no. So we talking about in the 70s,
right?
That this occurred. So it was nothing. We have always been embroiled in some kind of armed conflict my whole lifetime.
Yeah. But I'm wondering, what about this particular war? I wonder what is going to be different about this one, in that, you know, most of the wars that have taken place, no, all of the wars that have taken place during my lifetime have all taken place on foreign soil. And I don't know, save the Civil War, right. And of course, you know, the War of 1812 and the Revolutionary War. Save those, there has never been conflict on this soil. However, the U.S. has been involved in world wars. World wars take place generally on the European continent, and this war is brewing on the European continent. I'm wondering about your thoughts as to whether it can morph into something more like a world war, as opposed to being merely a conflict between two countries in Eastern Europe.
Well, I think it has the potential, and let me just make a correction. There has been a continuing war against black folk in America.
Oh, well, yeah, well, of course. That's
Yeah.
Thank you for that correction, sir. That is absolutely correct. I'm just walking around here just wounded and just forget I was in the war.
Yeah, forget. So you being shot at so long, you forget.
You know what I'm saying?
You think it's just thunder, huh?
Yeah.
But this has all of the elements of a full-scale war. It's and this time, the reason I think it's so much dangerous is that it will involve Russian territory. Actual territory, because that
in Ukraine, the Russian territory in Ukraine,
Ukraine and Russian territory, because they're right on the border. And I think Russia would be foolish to think that part of Ukraine's defense should not be taking going into Russian soil.
Yeah, and one refrain that I continue to hear in national media or international media is the Ukrainians will fight.
Right.
They will fight back.
They will fight back.
And it's not like a situation where they're just going to lay down. But and this is what I think people fear. If Ukraine goes down, then Poland is next.
Yeah.
Poland is full-blooded NATO. Ukraine should be NATO, given because many people are not aware of the historical setup for this conflict. Was 2014? Ukraine by 2014, Ukraine had the third largest nuclear arsenal in the world,
right.
And they gave it up. They relinquished it because they were promised that they would become a part of NATO.
Right.
And it's been however many years that it was from 2014 to now, and they still not a part of NATO, which means they are basically being left unprotected,
defenseless. Right,
and defenseless. They gave up their damn arsenal,
right, and
because the U.S. said we got your back. And
of course, the NATO has to be sort of unanimous entry, so it just can't be the United States decides that somebody could join NATO. But the other thing is, previous President Trump would not give Ukraine the arms that the Congress voted for.
Right.
And I'm not sure that ever happened.
If they ever got them, yeah. But I don't know. I'm sure that old Uncle Joe slid them in there.
And it's time. And I think clearly what I believe is that this will be a sustained conflict. I am absolutely sure that some of America's best remote control fighting will be performed by Americans. I think they're going to put their computer experts over there. And so to use American technology, American weapons in this battle, I think they'd be foolish not to.
It's interesting that you say that, because I made a comment earlier in my show today, wondering, kind of thinking out loud, should the U.S. be concerned about Russia's response to U.S. sanctions being some kind of, computer shutdown of the grid here in the United States, because they already showed that they got the capacity to do so.
Right.
So I'm wondering, so when you talk about, these touch points that could be very explosive and change or transmogrify a war that is primary, or a conflict that's primarily taking place within the Ukraine theater of operations, and you can really see how this could spread. And let's just say if China were to be involved, they had that thing right before the Olympics, right at the beginning of the Olympics, this meeting between Xi, the president of China, the premier of China, and Putin, showing they're united, they are allied with each other, right? We already know that Iran, one of the countries that also has nuclear capabilities, is aligned with Russia, right? So it's not like Russia is by themselves, but you don't mobilize over 200,000 troops if you ain't finna do nothing.
Well, clearly he planned to do something. He's a despotic warrior. I mean, he intends to be. In his heart, he apparently believes that Russia should rule the world, and he should be the Russia that rules the world.
Yeah.
And so this will not have a good ending. I think there will be. I think we all will have some setbacks. I think that the question will be, how much of an economic cost would China bear? What are they willing to? How far are they willing to go along with Putin? Putin doesn't care. The German has already shut down that pipeline.
They already, because I know they were a bit reticent to do that, and they were not like fully on board. They were not given like a full-throated approval of resistance to Russia because they got his money on the table, they want the access to the natural gas that comes from Russia, and Russia's like the number one supplier of, or number 1, 2, or 3 supplier of natural gas and petrol to Europe.
To Europe, right?
So it's more than just surface conflict. It's some deep geopolitical inferences that are beneath these movements that we don't know all about at this point, and that are going to come out, I guess, as things unfold.
And the question would be, one of the, I think, a lot of people give Reagan the credit for the breakup of the Soviet Union. I think it was the fact that under the old Soviet Union, they tried to keep everybody basically in jail. You just can't afford, old economics situation is, you're going to spend money for guns or you're going to spend money for butter. You can only spend so much money for guns until you run out of butter. And when you run out of butter, you run out of people.
Right.
People will not be with that economic posture. So I think that's what they are looking, what they will be looking toward. If Russians, the people are already protesting all over Europe now.
Right.
And you get the cartoons of Putin with bloodied hands and blood on his mouth.
Man, but you never know. It makes me think back like to World War I, World War II. These deep relationships between countries like France and Russia, right? There's a deep historical connection between the two. You think about World War II and the connection between Germany and Italy and these Eastern ideological countries that have these deep connections with these so-called Western ideological entities. But when I look at this thing like this, and one of the most profound statements that has come out as in critique of Putin and the aggressive motion into Ukraine has come from leaders of African nations, particularly the ambassador to the UN from Kenya, who made an impassioned speech on, I think it was Sunday evening when they had a meeting of the UN Security Council. And, what he did was liken what is happening now to what happened to African nations when Europeans decided that they would partition different plots of land and call them whatever they wanted to call them and be able to exploit them and all of the wealth go back to Europe. What Russia wants is, I think, more than anything, I think Russia wants that southern seaport that Ukraine affords them. It's a strategic space, not only economically and politically, but militarily.
Right.
It's the way to the West.
Right.
And it's just going to be interesting, I think, to see how this all plays out. But my deep fear, although it really never happens, but I think at this point in time, I never thought coronavirus could happen. Right? I never thought that the response to coronavirus or any kind of virus would be what we have experienced for the last 2 years. So who is to say that we might not find ourselves in world war?
Well, we are, these barriers, the previous barriers that kept us apart are no longer there. Airlines go everywhere. I mean, we are really a world economy.
Yeah, internet connects everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
So those old barriers no longer exist, and so any interchange of economic disadvantages is just wide open. I don't see anything that can stop us. Just stop the economic damage that we will see that's come from this war.
Wow.
I don't see any way.
Yeah, and it's already filling it at the gas pump right now.
Already at the gas pump. I fill up this morning. I've $71 for 16 gallons in my car.
Bruh, I refuse. I've been refusing to fill up for the last month or so because I cannot. I can't say I can't afford to. I do not want to put $100 worth of gas in my car. I don't want to do that.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying? So my vehicle says, that's fine if you don't want to do that. However, you will not see the needle go all the way over to the right until you do that. You know,
it's gonna move just a bit.
You know what I'm saying? But think about, the way inflation is impacting people because my salary, my income is actually going down. It ain't going up, and all of the prices of everything that you got to access has gone up. In the last year or so, prices have damn near doubled. I think it's like 28%, something like that, is the number that I've heard. I think the broad across the board number they say is 7% inflation. But when it comes to the people on the ground, man, it's crazy.
When you pump gas up, that's a really big part of a lot of people's monthly expenditures.
Yeah.
And then, of course, energy will go with that. Gasoline, natural gas. I don't know where electricity will go, but water will probably be stable.
Yeah, and oil, think about it, not in this part of the country, but in the Northeast, people use oil for heating.
They use oil for heating. Minnesota, New York, Maine, Massachusetts. Yeah, we don't. And, we got spring weather now, but they don't.
Right.
Chicago is cold.
Yeah, and a lot of people use the products that, or the commodities that are traded, and of course the stock market has taken a major dip, and whenever that happens, my little retirement man be going in jeopardy. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, man, I get to be 60 years old and the world want to fall apart at the seams, man. It's just crazy out here, brother.
But it'll rebound. We'll get back. This war be over. People, there will be some economic difficulties in some people economic hardships, and some people economic disasters.
Yeah.
But the world keep turning around. War is bad. There are no winners in a war. There are only survivors.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's come closer, man. All I hear people talk about, whenever politicians speak in Atlanta, if you don't lead with words about crime and response to crime, then they just basically don't say nothing. And something within me feels as though there is just a connection to the coverage on issues of crime, the desire to lift crime, and I'm air quoting that, as being the primary issue to be dealt with in Atlanta. And something in me just it's not sitting right. It don't feel right. And I think it's something else beneath this that's really pushing this crime narrative. And I'm trying to figure out why black politicians are taking a part in it.
Well, they taking a part in it because it's in a response. What you see, as I call it, the rebound. What they do is rebound. The shot's over here, but they dealing with that. And let me say this about crime. I think the number one issue of crime in America is racism.
Yes,
That is
exactly. And so that's my point. You said it. I'm like, it's some more shit that's more important than a couple of Negroes driving fast in a Hellcat in Buckhead.
Right.
I mean, it's just more.
Right, or doing wheelies in the parking lot. It's a lot more. Yeah, so we've seen that. I just wrote a statement. We'll release it tonight or tomorrow. They interviewed me about the verdict against the Michael. I call him the McMichael gang.
Yeah.
That murdered Ahmaud Arbery.
Right.
Except for his mother, who would not be deterred. They tried to tell her son was breaking into houses. She knew her son.
Mm-hmm.
He was jogging. But what killed Ahmaud Arbery was white supremacy and the dedication that America has with racism and white supremacy. That's what killed. It didn't come out in the state trial, the murder trial, but in the hate crime trial. All of the texts, all of the conversations.
They were virulent. They are virulent racists.
And they were encouraged by America and Georgia.
Yeah.
And the problem is they are not the only ones. We can't say, oh, these are three. White folks like to say, oh, these are just bad apples.
Yeah.
No.
And that's just
right. This is not bad
the case.
This is bad America.
Right.
And we have to understand where we really are if we're to make progress. The only thing I like about them, if it's any salve for me about them talking about crime as much as that, the status quo is being made to feel this extreme discomfort. And I don't mind when the status quo is discomforted.
Yeah, I like that as well. But what makes me fearful is when we got good politicians who could be directing effort toward issues that really impact black people on the ground. And because, let's be clear, whenever you say crime, we talking about black folks. That's a code word for black people.
Sure it is. What
You know what I'm saying? And so when you say crime is a problem, that's a code word for saying black people are a problem. And when you get black people saying black people are a problem, now you got a problem.
Well, but we've always had that. I mean, black people have bowed down to the white supremacy narrative forever. I mean, since emancipation. I mean, we adopted the narrative of failing schools. No such thing as a failing school.
Yeah.
These schools have a preponderance of low-achieving, economically deprived students.
And you know what, Bro President, I was thinking this. I think it was today. I saw two young men walking down the street, two teenagers, and one had, and instead of having his backpack on his back, one had his backpack, across the front. And I had to check myself because I've been, and I'm the psychological job that has been done on all of us actually caused me to think out loud, what that young Negro got in that bag?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if I was the police, I was talking to a young man yesterday, man, other day. He was saying he was in Tennessee, I think, and his car had run out of gas. He was on the side of the road. The police came up on him and said, what you doing? He said, man, I need help. I'm out of gas. And the dude said, man, look like I got to do my job. And he reached in the car, told him to get out the car, and he said he picked him up and slammed him on the ground and handcuffed him. He in the middle of nowhere. Didn't have no cell phone. If he had it, he would have called somebody to get some gas.
Right.
And he said it was a big old black police that did it. Yeah. I was like,
well, again,
damn.
we have so many of us who have bought into the narrative of white supremacy. I mean, when it was, for me, it was exacerbated by when I started my campaign against Confederate monuments, when I had all of these black folk, noted people, big names, talking about, well, you can leave them alone. One lady who was a SCLC veteran told me, well, as long as they let us celebrate Martin Luther King, they can keep Stone Mountain.
Wow. Yeah. That ain't no trade-off. I mean, hell. What do you mean?
So we see a lot of that. I mean, we see a lot of that. You know, I told you, I fell out with my preacher back in Memphis, Tennessee, because he wouldn't allow me to have our organizing meetings at our church. It was a preacher, we talking about 1963, a black preacher who didn't have another job.
Right.
I mean, you know, that was rare.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
we tend to be bi or tri-vocational.
Right.
Yeah.
So
for survival purposes.
Right. But he didn't work. You know, I think his wife was a teacher. Most days you could find him across the street from the church at the service station playing checkers.
Mm-hmm. But we ain't gonna have no civil rights meeting at this church.
Right.
Boy, I tell you, y'all.
So
color people something else, boy.
So we've had that, and we continue to have that. You know, I'm in a little tiff with a black Fulton County state rep who has decided that she knows better than everybody else that she gonna collaborate with the Republicans about redistricting.
Wow, who is this? We need to out her.
That's Misha Maynor.
Who what? What's her name?
Misha Maynor. She's in.
Misha Maynor. I don't know her, but
she's in the seat that Abel Mabel
Okay,
retired from.
Okay.
It's her first term. And she is so entrenched with the Republicans, her seat in the House of Representatives, in the House chamber, is on the first row.
Wow.
So
Wow.
she demonstrated.
She in there.
Yeah, she
like we. She done
last
sold her soul to the
Oh,
devil.
yeah.
Walked on the checkered floor, putting one hand over the eye and another finger in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm down. I'm down with the Grand Cyclops, man.
but her voting record was brought to my attention last year because I try to have relationships with all these politicians. We got to get along. I don't necessarily agree with all of them all the time. Some of them I disagree with all the time. But we have to talk because I need to know what's going on about the community.
You're absolutely right, man. You got to have communication.
Right.
Is the key to doing business. And politics is business.
It's business.
We got to do business because what you doing is playing with my money.
Right.
And the people's money that I represent.
Right.
So we need to be able, at the very least, to always communicate.
That's
I was
right.
having a conversation with a young man yesterday where I was like, bruh, reason I can't do business with you is because you tend to shut down communication. If we can't talk,
right. We can't do business.
We can't do business.
Right.
We can't do business.
Right.
What are we doing? You know, why are we in each other's presence? You know, yeah, it's a lot, man. Well, you know, you got, does the NAACP Atlanta chapter have any kind of initiatives that's that's going down that we need to be aware of?
Well,
now?
Two things. We're celebrating our 105th anniversary Monday at East Point City Hall. We're having a little reception.
Okay.
Atlanta's been around 105. Atlanta NAACP founded by W.B. Du Bois, James Weldon Johnson, A.D. Williams, who was Dr. King's grandfather. Been around, and I try to hold up the pride of the ancestors, what we do. We will be starting now, doing our voter turnout initiatives. We're going to start, our focus is going to be black men. We have to get black men's voter participation up because that's without it, we will not be able to achieve where we need to be. I think we have to, and there's anger and apathy. It's a psychological cauldron, really. That comes from that.
I was looking at a piece online the other night. A friend of the show, Brother Changa, you know him, had a guest on talking about is voting necessary, and it's two black men talking about if voting is necessary. And I don't know what the outcome was that they came up with, but I just think that if there is a system that is operating, and it's operating using you and that which you create as part of that which drives it, if you don't participate by, at the very least, letting your opinion or your thought crystallized in what we call a vote. If you don't cast that and invest that into that enterprise, then you just deserve whatever comes out at the end, and you don't have anything to say about it.
Well, invest is the key word. You know, I think that what a lot of black men and black women too, but mostly more black men, I believe, believe that they are in it. They look at it as a transaction, at everything as a transaction. If I give $1 to McDonald's, I can get a large sweet tea. But that's not the way government works. You know, it is not immediate gratification. I can't get it right now and quench my thirst. We have to invest in our community, like we have to cut the grass. If we own a house, you got to cut the grass. You got to do this. You got to do that. It is building an entire community and participating in that community. Because if you don't participate, as you say, the problem with them deserving what they get is it makes me get what they deserve. I don't want to get what they deserve.
Right. Yeah, another same thing with this damn world war. We end up getting what they deserve.
What they deserve.
That's why we don't want world war.
Right.
And we done put the button on that and pulled it full circle and went around the block on that one.
Yeah.
You know what, man? I always glad to see you. Most of all, just because I like you, because you're a cool dude, you know.
Well, thank you.
And you know, in spite of your, Kappa stuff, you know, I look over all that. You know what I'm saying? I just think you all right. And you one of the greatest of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, put your hands together for the president of the Atlanta chapter of the NAACP, Richard Rose, Memphis own, Atlanta's own. You heard about that? I know you have heard about that young lady rapper who told everybody that you ain't from Atlanta unless you from Atlanta.
Yeah. So.
You can't tell, man, you're from Atlanta. Hell, I was here before you was born.
Right.
Shut the hell up.
Right.
Anyway, let's go, man.
Because I've been here so long. I got off the train down there where the Richard Russell building is at the age of 17. I was 2 months into my 17th year, so you can't take Atlanta from me.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't that young.
I deserve it.
Yeah. I'm paying no taxes. Yeah. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate everybody who was here this week. It was a good, I guess it was a good week. We made it through it, man. We had a lot of loss this week. You will be continuing to hear me say the name Lucille Grant. Late great Lucille Grant. I'm gonna celebrate her. If we don't celebrate our own, then ain't nobody else gonna do it.
That's right.
She was a great black woman and great human being. And so we gonna always be saying her name and missing her real heavy around here. So I see y'all next week if the Lord to say the same thing. Y'all stick with me, don't leave me, because you know I love you. Peace to peace. To the Archbishop and the Holy Family, to the below community I love so well. To my video engineer, Craig Miggity. I didn't know if you was going to do it. It's all good. To my crack research team, HC in the place to be. To my producer, C to the O to the Courtney Omega. And to the man in the box, the Grand Imperial Slice Master Supreme. On hand claps, applause, and special effects when he got a power cord. But when he don't, he just be sitting back there laughing and shit. And that's cool too. I can deal with that. That's all good. Big, not little. And you, all I want you to do is love me, and I'm gonna love you black. Peace to the people, power to the people, and roof to the bros. And bye-bye to the Kappas.
The mouths of the wise teach knowledge, but the lips of the fool talking foolishness. Almighty, me not like them hypocrites, me not like them parasites. Them scheme by day, them plot by night, striving on the plight of the poor and the sufferers. Jah know them are backstabbers, Jah know them are bloodsuckers. I can't take them vampires, cause I'm a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. I am a free up fighter. freedom fighter. I am a freedom fighter. I am a freedom fighter. blood. Blood of my people, the blood. They are shedding the blood of my people. No more. They are sucking the blood of my people. No more. They are shedding the blood of my people. They are sucking the blood of my people. No more shedding the blood of my people. No more. No more sucking the blood of my people. No more shedding the blood of my people. No more sucking the blood of my people. No more, no more. Our blood will shed no more. No more, no more. Our blood will shed no more.
If it makes sense, we have to go and do it, you know.
Yeah. Hear what I man say. Right now, now. But each and every day I say, oh people now. Here I say, freedom, 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 freedom. Rasta people, them freedom. African people, freedom. The original people, they can't find your body. Don't let them control your mind. So free up your mind, oh people now who have been trapped by the demons of the beast. They are trying to destroy your mind and spirit, your heart and soul, your divine control. Before they violate your body and destroy your world, they are waging all kind of warfare to distract and confuse your mind. Break them shackles, break them chains. Don't let them control your brain. Break them shackles, break them chains. Even though them change your name. Wake up, wake up, wake up, free your mind. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, free your mind. If they control your mind, they can control your thoughts. If they control your thoughts, they can control your actions. Prompting you to take their baits that will lead you to self-destruction. With your self-defeating, self-destructive actions, doing exactly what they want. As you fall in their trap, say, up your manipulation, them unleash, them demons and them beast, to rape, ravage and feast. So wake up, oh people, to reality. Wake up and free your mind. Wake up, oh people, to reality. Wake up and free your mind. Wake up, wake up, wake up and free your mind. Wake up, wake up, wake up and free your mind. They create a school in shits in preparing your mind for manipulation with their lies and their propaganda. Desensitizing your minds for more lies and falsification. With the medias and their institutions, we make up rules and more distractions, confusing and mixing up your mind. Do you know what are their plans? I say it's mind control. Them evil Babylonians, they wanna steal your soul. So wake up, oh people, to reality. Wake up and free your up and